Before we start the video, I just want to say thank you to all of you that supported my previous video, my first ever YouTube video. It really means a lot to me. Thank you very much. However, in this video, it has a little bit problem where I don't know why, but the quality goes up and down probably because I might over edited the video. So I don't know, but yeah, I hope all of you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and yeah, let's get straight to it. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hakim bin Malik, and today we're going to talk about urban poverty in Malaysia. But before we start, I hope all of us are doing well, especially during this COVID-19 era. Stay safe, wear masks, always sanitize your hands. I know it's a difficult time, but stay strong. We're in this together, and inshallah, blessings to those who are patient. Now, when we talk about urban poverty, there's not much discussion going on about it because we Malaysians, we are not really aware of it. However, considering the fact that Malaysia is a developing country and is experiencing urbanization, urban poverty is getting worse and worse, especially during this year in 2020, where 10 years ago we thought that 2020 will have flying cars. But look at us now, we only have flying monies. So yeah, I see this as a big issue. And for that, inshallah, in this vlog, I will be explaining to you on 3 different points, which are the definition of urban poverty, the reasons behind urban poverty, and last but not least, the difference between urban poverty and rural poverty. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Now, what is actually urban poverty? Well, basically, urban poverty is a poverty that happens in urban areas. For example, such as developed areas like Kuala Lumpur or Shah Alam and so on. So these people are living in a state of poor even though they live in a rich area. Ironic, isn't it? Well, according to Macmillan and MacDonald, well, not this MacDonald, but writers of the book Urban Economics and Real Estate, they said that urban poverty can be described in 2 ways. One is an absolute standard based on a minimum amount of income needed to sustain a healthy and minimally comfortable life. Number 2 is relative standard that is set based on average the standard of living in a nation. Or to make it simple, the wage that the person gains can barely sustain their own expenses, meaning that there's not much money left for them to buy their own desires, or they probably don't have enough money to save for future needs. Now, some of the reasons why urban poverty occurs is, one of it, economic interest. It is one of the main factors in pressuring urbanization at a mega scale. Other than that, the migration of low-income workers from rural areas to urban areas, the influx of foreign workers, lack of educational opportunity, and the increase in unemployment. So all of this contributed to the rise of urban poverty. And as a result, poverty, which used to be mainly a rural phenomenon, has become more urbanized. And last but not least, the difference between urban poverty and rural poverty is, well, because the place of its occurrence. Urban poverty happens in urban areas, rural poverty happens in rural areas such as villages. But in my personal opinion, I believe that urban poverty is worse, because even though people from the cities gain more wage, expenses in urban areas are a lot higher too. Now let's take for example, in villages, the price of a haircut is probably 3 ringgit or 5 ringgit. But in cities such as my own hometown, if you're lucky enough, you can get a haircut for 15 ringgit. Alright, let's recap of what we have discussed earlier. We have discussed that urban poverty is a state where a person only gets an amount of income that can only barely sustain his expenses. We also know that some of the reasons of urban poverty is unemployment, which is a nightmare for fresh graduates. And the last one, we know that urban poverty happens in urban areas, rural poverty happens in rural areas. So all in all, whether it is urban poverty or rural poverty, it is poverty. Malaysia is in a crisis, especially during this pandemic. People are starving because they lost their jobs. They don't have money to pay for their rent. And I'm a little bit ashamed that while Kelantan have issues with clean water, Sabah Sarawak have issues with roads, Selangor have water disruption, then there's people from the higher ups bathing in money, and the government is still trying to build more and more useless skyscrapers. we can see that the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. Yes, we want to be a developed country, I know. But start off with feeding the needs, reducing the wage gap, creating more job opportunities, and raising the minimum wage. Because Nelson Mandela once said, as long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality exist, none of us can truly rest. And so I rest my case. Until then, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and wait for my next videos. And that is if I want to make other videos. Alright, Assalamualaikum.